Yo, what is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to this brand new series here on my channel, Football Manager Swap. And today, we're going to be kicking off this series with our first swap. It's going to be Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo switching from Real Madrid and Barcelona and playing for their rival team. So obviously this series is just a bit of fun. It's a little bit of an experiment of sorts, getting two similar comparable players, swapping the clubs they play for and seeing how Football Manager predicts they'd have an impact for the team they're now playing for. So this should be an interesting one. We're going to be kicking it off with two of the kind of biggest names, I guess, in world football and two of the players who are most commonly compared to one another. And we're going to see today just how FM predicts they'd get on if they were playing for one another's side. So if we look here, first things first, you can see Messi playing for Real Madrid. Nothing's changed besides the club he's at. Obviously, he's one of the best players in the world. And then we have Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously now playing for Barcelona. And again, one of the better players in the game. If we just compare these two really quickly so you can see the stat comparisons, it's actually surprising how much better Messi is than Ronaldo in terms of the mentals and most of the technicals. Ronaldo is physically better in most areas, but it's a pretty interesting kind of difference between the two players. Two players who many people will say you can't really compare or find a difference between them as two footballers as complete packages. Obviously Ronaldo widely regarded as the more athletic of the two players, whereas Messi's perhaps known a bit more as the more technical footballer. So anyway, this is going to be an interesting experiment. Messi's 26 and Ronaldo's 28, so we're going to holiday forward 5 years, take year by year updates, and then after that I'm going to holiday to the end of their careers and we're going to see, I guess, what happened come the end of their footballing lives when they would look back upon it and hang up their boots for good. So anyway, guys, yeah, I'm going to go forward a year and I'll join you guys after season 1 and we'll see exactly how these two guys are getting on. Okay, guys, so it is the end of season 1. Before we check the players, the first thing we're going to do is check La Liga and see who won the league. And as we can see here, Barcelona winning the league and Real Madrid coming second. Just 3 points separating the two sides, with Atletico falling somewhat off the pace. And if we look here, you can see the top performers. Messi is top of the average ratings with an 8.0 average rating for Real Madrid, which is crazy. However, rather curiously, Ronaldo is top goal scorer, or at least second to Diego Costa, playing for Barcelona. So that's interesting to see that. We're going to kick things off with Cristiano Ronaldo, as he was at the team who, of course, won the league this year. And as we can see, at 29 years old, he's still a very good player. And looking at his average ratings, he averaged a 7.54 rating in all competitions and a 7.58 in the league, grabbing 21 goals. In all competitions, he got 8 assists and 27 goals in 48 games. So his first and primary position is left midfielder. If we look at the information tab, you can see he's actually been playing out on the wing for the most part. However, he has been playing as a striker for the national team of Portugal. You can see as well here, undroppable form for his country. Looks like he's already developing a little bit of a partnership with Neymar, which is a little bit interesting. And I can't see any kind of players here who play for Barcelona. So he's not made any friends just yet, but he has had a really good first season at the club. I mean, when you compare that to what he did at Madrid last season in real life, of course, in the 2012-13 season, it's a little bit of a step down, but it's still a pretty impressive performance, and he's still top goal scorer, or at least second top goal scorer in the league. So anyway, let's take a look at Messi. He is considered their key player, which is kind of interesting. And you can see here, he actually averaged the 8.0 average rating, which was the highest rating in the league, and he got 11 man of the matches in 37 games. He got 9 assists, 16 goals, and scored a penalty. And in all competitions, he got 11 assists and 24 goals. And he was playing, I'm going to assume he was playing centre attacking mid. Played centre attacking mid and right mid. So interesting to see that neither of these guys consistently played as kind of the big striker, I guess. But he's played pretty well, all in all. Both players have had pretty good first seasons. You'd kind of expect that with them being two of the better players. It's intriguing to see how tight these two teams finished. You know, just 3 points the difference. It'll be interesting to see in the coming seasons how Ronaldo perhaps declines as a footballer as he gets a little bit older and his physicals drop. But right now, both players have kind of made instant impacts to their team, and they're really inseparable. You look at this, 3 points of difference, but even on the goal difference front, the goal difference swing was only 7 in favour of Barcelona, which really isn't that bigger a difference, and both teams had very good defensive records for the season compared to one another. So just before we continue, just one more thing we're going to check. We're going to check who won what on the World Awards front. I'm going to assume that Messi's going to have won Golden Ball, because he usually wins it. Indeed he did, and that was including his time at Real Madrid. You can see 24 appearances, 11 goals and 4 assists in that time, and he was actually averaging an 8.04 average rating at that time, and he actually finished quite a way ahead of Ronaldo, who did come second, so that's a little bit curious. And then on the World Player of the Year, it's the exact same results as you'd expect. And then in the Team of the Year, I guess these guys both featured. Indeed, they did. So that's how they lined up. Pretty interesting to see that. It'll be interesting to see if they can kind of keep that going throughout the rest of the years on this save. But I appreciate already at this point, we're rambling. Let's get straight into Season 2 and see how they got on, I guess, in their second seasons at their new clubs. Okay, guys, so it's the end of Season 2. Let's see how La Liga ended up, and again, blimey, this is really close, but Real Madrid this time edging it, which is kind of curious. I guess another curious thing is the fact that neither team had a player appear on the top goal scorers or average rating, so perhaps the player's not having so much of an impact this year. If we look at the league in a little bit more detail, it was again ridiculously close, still only 3 points in it, but Real Madrid edging it this time. So I guess we'll give Messi the honour of being the first to be inspected. Worth knowing actually that Gareth Bale is considered Real Madrid's key player at this point, so clearly he's having a bit more of an impact on the team than Messi is. Where is Messi? Messi is here, 27. Let's have a look. So he's only played 9 league games this year. He's been injured. What was his injury? Let's check this. This is interesting. So he damaged his cruciate ligament. So he basically missed the entire season. That's a blooming unusual for Messi to have that. Granted, when he did play, he did get an 8.23 average rating, getting 3 assists and 3 goals in 9. But that injury's hindered him. Obviously, we do this experiment once, anything can happen in this time, and it's kind of curious to see this happen. And it does appear to have had a little bit of an impact on his kind of I guess physicals, and it was Ronaldo who I thought might be the one who might suffer physically, but right now Messi's shown a little bit of decline. So anyway, we'll quickly check Ronaldo and see how he got on. Again, he didn't play particularly well, and also worth noting that Neymar is considered Barcelona's key player rather than Ronaldo. So Ronaldo here played a decent chunk of games, again only 22 in the league. Did he get injured as well? He did, but wow, he sprained his ankle twice this season and strained knee ligaments. That is very odd that we've got so many injuries coming in one season for our 2 little wonder stars. So let's have a look at Ronaldo just quickly. It looks like he's still the player he was. His injuries haven't had as big an impact. Worth noting, his wages are now almost at £600,000. I didn't check Messi's. I'm almost tempted to go back and check them now. But you can see Ronaldo here averaging a 7.6 rating with 13 goals and 4 assists. If we check his information, because he did play a few more games than Messi, you can see widely playing on the wing again, as we expected. So we'll just quickly give Messi a look and see how much money he's on. I'm going to assume that neither player won any awards this year just because of their injuries. Messi's not on as much as Ronaldo, which is somewhat curious. So if we just go to World quickly, then go to awards. Okay, World Golden Ball did go to Messi again. I guess his injury did come in the second half of the season, so that might explain that a little bit, and he still managed to get 40 appearances in the calendar year. But Ronaldo nowhere to be seen, so Messi's still performing really well. World Player of the Year, whilst it was slightly different in terms of the players, Messi was still the World Player of the Year, and in the Team of the Year, Ronaldo did not feature at all, so already slightly odd. Of course, now Messi is 28 or 27 and Ronaldo's 29. So it's going to be interesting to see how these next few years go with them aging a little bit and just see how they rebound from these injuries that they've had this season for either of them. So anyway, guys, be back again with Season 3, and I'm kind of excited to see what this has got in store. So it's 2016. let's see what happened this season. This is our third season. The Liga BBVA, worth noting, it dropped to second in the continental reputations, and Barcelona this year running away with it. If we look at the ratings here, Ronaldo was the top goal scorer, and Mandzukic for Atletico actually came second, but Ronaldo did edge it by 1 goal, and Messi nowhere to be seen. Curious. We'll get onto that shortly. But first things first, let's check what Ronaldo did this year. So he's 31 now, so he is getting on a little bit at this point. But we can see here, stats-wise, he's declining a little bit on the physicals, but he's still doing a job. You can see 24 goals this season with a 7.45 average rating. So it was his worst season for ratings, but he just scored more. He contributed more whilst having a worse rating. But overall, he's done pretty well for them, you'd have to say, this year. Also done really well on the international front, where he's got 4 goals in 5 games and 4 assists as well. In terms of where he's been playing out on the wings again for club, playing a lot better on the left than the right, worth noting. That's kind of curious, at international level at least. At club level, it's been pretty standard, I guess. He's played better up front for club, if anything. So he's doing quite well there. Obviously made a bit of an impact this year in terms of how he's got on. So we will now check Messi. As I mentioned, looking at the league, you can see there was a big difference. Compared to the first 2 seasons, it's been a very big difference. And let's see, Messi on the bench. Wow, 28. Here he is. He's still a very good player, you'd have to say that. And he has played 34 league games, so he's bounced back fairly well. Averages a 7.4 rating, but 12 goals and 5 assists for Messi is a pretty disappointing season, you'd have to say. You compare it to the seasons he had prior to the experiment. Obviously, last year threw him off with the injury, but he's really tailed off. A 7.4 rating there. We will just have a quick look at Messi's information tab, just to see where he has been played this year. So you can see centre attack in mid, he's been played a fair bit, and as a striker, and he's actually played 26 games this season at international level at centre forward. So that's a little bit interesting. And of course, last but not least, before we crack on into Season 4 of this, we will just check the overview for the world and see if either of these guys managed to get on the World Awards. And indeed, Cristiano Ronaldo this year grabbing the World Golden Ball ahead of Juan Mata, and he got it for 2015, so that's the first time Ronaldo's featured there. In Player of the Year, Mata actually beat Ronaldo, and in the World Team of the Year, was Messi anywhere to be seen? No, he was not. So that's kind of interesting how these two guys are kind of taking it in turns, I guess, to appear in the World Team. But anyway, let's crack on again into Season 4, as I already mentioned, and see, as we kind of enter now, I want to say the latter years of these players' careers. Obviously, Ronaldo's 31, Messi's 29 or 28, so it'd be interesting to see how they got on now, and if they can kind of keep their performances going, and maybe in Messi's case, just step things up now for Season 4. Okay guys, 2017, and Real Madrid won the league this time, and Messi breaking back onto the average rating kind of top players for the season as well, which is interesting to see. Barcelona's finishing 3rd as well, so after Barcelona really pulling away last year, Real Madrid have turned up the heat, as have Atletico, and both of these teams have done very well this year. Anyway, let's check out Madrid first and see how Messi's been getting on for them. So you can see here, he's averaged a 7.72 average rating in the league, a 7.68 in all competitions. He's been somewhat on the decline in his stats. You know, he's certainly not so many 20s in the technicals, but I think that's down to his injury that he had. But he's played well this year. It's been a big kind of bounce back season for him, and he's almost back at what he was doing, I guess, towards, the first season of this save. If we look at his history just to see, has he had any more injuries? He's had a few minor ones. He did have a double hernia in training, so that might have impacted him as well a little bit. But he's done pretty well. And on the information front, you can see here he's been playing out on the right wing for Madrid, as well as occasionally up top for them. And of course, that's where he's been playing at international level. So of course, let's have a quick look now at Barcelona, see what they've been doing. How has 32-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo been getting on? Let's find out. Where are you, Ronaldo? Where are you? You are well off the pace, son. So here he is, 32, and he is certainly starting to decline as a footballer. The polygon makes it a lot easier for you guys to see, but he is certainly on the decline. Only 7 appearances this season. Wow. Did he get injured? I'm going to assume he must have been. He did break his foot and have a lower back stress fracture. So amazing the amount of injuries these two players have had. Two players who in FM really don't tend to have all that many injuries, and it seems to be the case that when one of them plays well, the other one gets an injury or doesn't perform so well, and then vice versa. But yeah, Ronaldo's really struggled this season. Only 7 appearances in the league and 2 in the cup, and none on the international level, which is pretty bad. And when he has played, he's not played particularly amazingly. You can see here, played out on the left a few games and then out on the right. Already looking at possibly going into football management at the end of his career, which is slightly curious. So he's not doing too well. His contract runs out at the end of next year. Let's just check when Messi's runs out. But Ronaldo's only got 1 year left on his deal, so I'm kind of curious to see if he's going to move. I'd expect him to. Obviously, at the end of the season, he can go on a Bosman unless he plans to retire quite early on. Messi's contract also ends at the end of next year, so that could be another one. Kind of interesting to see where these two guys end up. So yeah, both players have done well, really. If we look at the World Awards just quickly, obviously Ronaldo last season played pretty well on the award front. You can see here, neither of them is anywhere to be seen. Mata finally ending the Ronaldo-Messi spell of dominance that had gone on for the last 7 years. If we look at World Player of the Year as well, Mata again right up there. And then World Team of the Year, neither of them are any... Oh, actually, no, Messi's still there. Messi's broken back in, but Ronaldo is nowhere to be seen. De Bruyne actually kind of not controversially, but curiously getting in there now. And he was actually on the Player of the Year, so let's just take a quick look. He's 25 on this, and he's developed pretty nicely for Chelsea, but he's not incredible. But I'm kind of amazed. Messi is playing up front in the Team of the Year, so he's not playing badly, Messi. And it'll be interesting now in Season 5 to see how both these guys get on, and if either of them can kind of maybe give one last hoorah as they kind of, I guess, get ready for the retirement. So anyway, guys, I will join you in just a second. Okay, guys, so we are back for Season 5, and wow, look at that league table. Barcelona finishing 6th. Something has gone terribly, terribly wrong there. We'll come on to that in just a second, but let's have a look quickly at the league table. So Atletico really running away with it. Madrid could only get 2nd place, and if we look here at the top goal scorers, Ronaldo nor Messi anywhere to be seen. Messi, however, did appear yet again on the kind of average ratings and also got on the most assists. So he's had an okay season. So I guess let's put the spotlight on Messi to begin with here. So he has agreed to go to PSG, aged 30. Wow, that's a little bit odd. Obviously, both players were running out of had their contracts running out. So kind of interesting to see him going to PSG, particularly because he's had quite a good season at Real Madrid. You can see here 10 goals and 12 assists and a 7.61 average rating, 7.6 in all competitions, and he's played pretty well all in all. If we look at his information tab here, you can see he's played out on the right, up top, and actually a bit of everywhere really in the attacking third, bar the left hand side, but he's played pretty well kind of everywhere. You can see when he's played up top, he's played particularly well, especially on the international level. You can also see Messi's got 133 Argentine caps, which is pretty crazy right now. And if we go over to the Cristiano Ronaldo camp, and quite a sad camp you'd have to say, Barcelona finishing 6th despite a 2nd place predicted finish at the start of the season. And Ronaldo here has his contract running out at the end of the year, and I'm guessing his wage demands have just put teams off going in for him, which is kind of curious. But 33, it might be tricky for him to now get a team. This could be interesting to see how this transpires. Actually, this season, he's not played too badly at all. 14 goals in 30 games is actually the best season he's had in a little while. You know, last season, obviously his injuries kind of held him back. This year, he's done a little bit better than that. And he's not played too badly overall, a 7.12 average. And when he's played on the international stage, he's still banging in goals for fun. He now has 128 caps for Portugal. Where has he been playing? So he's been playing out on the left and the right. It's kind of to be expected. Both players have kind of not really led the charge in their teams, but kind of interesting to see that. If we just go to the awards, I doubt we're going to see either player anywhere. Maybe Messi might have won an award or got in the Team of the Year. In fact, Messi, fair play to you, sir. A 30-year-old Lionel Messi coming 2nd in the World Golden Ball, and in the Player of the Year he also came 2nd. However, Mata Mata is on a 3-year winning spree in this. He's loving it right now. He's playing very well for Manchester United. But anyway, we're not going to focus on that. World Team of the Year. Messi did get into the starting team. Interesting to see that, again, Ronaldo is nowhere to be seen in this. So that's a little bit curious. And overall, this has been kind of interesting, just these results and what's happened in this. Just because, obviously, both players have had injuries. And Messi seems to have really bounced back from his and done a job. Whereas perhaps Ronaldo's injury coming a little bit later into his career has really just kind of held him back, I guess. But anyway, what I'm going to do now, guys, is obviously we've done 5 seasons. I don't want this video to drag on for too long. I'm going to holiday 5 more years into the future, or until the players retire, and then we'll have some closing thoughts, kind of evaluate the players as a whole alongside each other, and you guys can let me know what you make of them. One thing we'll just do quickly, let's compare them. We compared them at the start, we compare them now. Ronaldo's physicals are still better, and you'd have to say Messi's physicals have somewhat tailed off, but then he did have that really long injury, so that could explain that. But overall, Messi is certainly the better player right now. But anyway, I don't want to ramble for too long, so we are going to go forward 5 years and see what is what, and I guess come to some conclusions and evaluate exactly what has happened. So I'll talk to you guys in just a second. Okay guys, so we are back for the final update of this save, and can I just start off by saying that for future reference, I'm probably not going to do the yearly updates as I've done in this video. I'm actually going to end up doing them probably every 2 or 3 years, depending on the players involved. The reason for this being is that it's actually taken me about 8 years to get to a stage where Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi have both retired. And it means that we've kind of missed out on the twilight years of their career, but we've endured and enjoyed the exciting spells, I guess. So without further ado, we'll start with Ronaldo. Let's review his career on this side. So he's now a coach aged 41, and following his releasing of from the Barcelona side in the summer of 2018, as you can see here, he went to Benfica and then on to Norwich. And to be honest, he's had a pretty good career. Even at the end, you can see a 7.99 average rating for that first season at Benfica, and he's always averaged above a 7, which is pretty darn impressive. He's played well all in all, you know, 14 goals back-to-back seasons for Norwich is really good. 14 goals in the Premier League for any player is very decent, so to see that from him is incredible, really. And he kept playing right up until the age of 40 in the Premier League. I guess that's a testament to his physicals. Obviously, he has really good physicals, and that kind of just naturally means that as he gets older, his natural fitness increases, and obviously he can have a longer career. So if you look at his achievements that he's had, you can see here what he's won. Ultimately, didn't win all that much, but you can see here won the La Liga twice with Barcelona in 2014 and 2016, as well as the Spanish Super Cup. If we look at his awards in that time, you can actually see he was named in the Team of the Week a few times for Norwich. It's also named in Portugal's seasonal best 11, even in 2024. So he was playing for Portugal till really late. As you can see, he does have 162 caps. So that does kind of, I guess, suggest that to a degree. But overall, he's had a very good career on this save. And he did quite a good job for Barcelona. You'd have to say, during that time, kind of the area, I guess, that we're focusing on in this swap, he played well. And he guided Barcelona to 2 titles in that time. We look at his biography, you can see here that he joined Real Madrid for 80 million, obviously, but we can pick it off here where he joined Barcelona, and he actually made 124 league appearances and scored 73 goals during that time for Barcelona, which is pretty darn impressive, and he did a really good job. And as I mentioned, he did win La Liga twice. And then in terms of his awards, you can see them here, but he actually won quite a selection of awards. Obviously, some of these are before he came to them, but he certainly had a very illustrious career, I guess, at Real Madrid, as, I guess, 73 goals in 124 games would suggest, which is still a decent amount of league games for a player, really, across the course of 3 years. So anyway, let's go on to Messi quickly. So you can see here Messi is 38, ended up getting 174 caps and 86 goals for Argentina. And if we look at his history overview, you can see that following his move to PSG, which obviously was highlighted at the end of the last kind of stop, he had a really good first season at PSG, got an 8.04 average rating, 18 goals and 10 assists. And to be honest, he played really well at PSG for a good 4 years before eventually just having kind of, I guess, that season that a lot of big players have where they just kind of drop out of the first team altogether and get phased out. From there, he went on to Tigre, who are an Argentine team, and then from there, he went for his only transfer fee in his entire career, where he moved for 235k to Olympia, where he never actually played. So somewhat bizarre, but overall, Messi played pretty well on this career. I mean, during his time at Real Madrid, he did a job. He did a very good job as well, and he did play particularly well for them. If we look at his achievements during his time at Real Madrid, you can see here that obviously he won La Liga in 2017, and he played really well for them. Just in those competitions, if we look at competitions, he only won La Liga once in that time, but that still doesn't really give you an idea of how much he really did for the team. Kind of interesting in this save how Atletico and Barcelona definitely did better than Real Madrid. Clearly, Messi just couldn't quite make that difference for them. So actually, just another few bits of trivia. He broke Real Madrid's record for fastest goal twice in a row. Once scoring in 28 seconds and then scoring in 9 seconds. Jesus, that is a really fast goal. So yeah, that's those players summed up very nice. If we look at Messi's biography, we can actually see a stat specifically for Real Madrid. And you can see here he made 145 league appearances and scored 56 goals, but he did get a lot more assists than Ronaldo in this time. So they both made about the same amount of appearances, about 140 each. Ronaldo got 74 goals, Messi only got 56. And Ronaldo definitely won more trophies. But I want to know, guys, which of the two players do you think succeeded best at their kind of new club, I guess? Obviously, Ronaldo did better in terms of his contribution to the team and how well Barcelona did. But actually, Messi had a more consistent period and he did win more World Player of the Years. Obviously, when he was in his prime, I guess, even at Real Madrid compared to when he was at Barcelona prior to the change. So, I mean, you can see here, obviously, during our experiment with 2013 to 2015, Messi got World Golden Balls. Ronaldo could only get the one. Curious stuff. Kind of, it's always interesting seeing how this kind of stuff pans out in FM. So anyway, guys, this video has gone on for way longer than I wanted to, but with it being the first in the series, as I mentioned, I'm still finding my feet, still trying to work out the system to go by. If you've got any suggestions for this series, be it examples of swaps you'd like to see, or maybe ways that I can improve the kind of quality of the video and how I present the video, it would be appreciated. But other than that, guys, it is me, Jack. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.